Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will make a third trip to Pyongyang this week to meet with Kim. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will make a third trip to North Korea this week for talks with Kim Jong-un about denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. The White House confirmed the trip that was first reported by the Financial Times during a news conference on Monday afternoon. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said that Pompeo would depart the U.S. on July 5. Sanders at the same presser refused to comment on reports that North Korea is expanding, not contracting, its nuclear program, saying the conversations are continuing to evolve between Washington and Pyongyang. Pompeo's trip dovetails with a report making waves on Monday that President Donald Trump's next summit with Kim could take place in New York at the annual gathering of the United Nations. A report in Axios on Monday said that the Trump administration is considering a second sit-down with Kim in New York while the international body holds its General Assembly. For Trump to meet with Kim in New York on the sidelines of the September event, however, the president would have to see serious movement in the direction of denuclearization, the news outlet reported. A spokesperson for the president's National Security Council wasn't available to comment to DailyMail.com on Monday morning. Sanders told reporters during her news conference later in the day, "We don't have any announcements or plans to roll out at this point." She would not say whether the president has decided that he can trust the 33-year-old authoritarian leader who ordered the murder of his uncle and bother to consolidate power. "Again, we see progress and momentum in the process, and we've had good conversations as recently as yesterday. And we're going to continue those conversations later this week, and push forward," she said, referring to the Pompeo trip. North Korea has a permanent mission in New York City, which served as the location last month for a meeting between America's chief diplomat and Kim's second-in-command. Trump then hosted a North Korean delegation at the White House for talks, after which he said he would move forward with a planned summit that was on the books but he later canceled. The president at the time said it was likely to take several in-person conversations with Kim for the U.S. to get a nuclear agreement. He acknowledged at a press conference that he could even host Kim at the White House. "Certainly if it goes well, and I think it would be well received, I think he would look at it very favorably, so I think that could happen," he said. His admission came amid reports that he could treat Kim to a golf weekend at Mar-a-Lago. "Maybe we'll start with the White House. What do you think?" the president instead said. Trump's summit with Kim in Singapore had the U.S. president declaring that he and the dictator had developed a greater relationship that would soon bear the fruits of his labor. A joint communique that Trump and Kim signed said that North Korea would completely denuclearize without offering a timeline or any logistical information. In an interview with Fox Business that aired over the weekend, Trump remained optimistic. "This has been going on for many years," he said. "I think they're very serious about it. I think they want to do it. We have a very good chemistry." No sooner than the ink had dried on the joint communique, Trump was touting the statement as a major accomplishment. He claimed in repeated interviews that Kim was likely to denuclearize as soon as he returned to Pyongyang. Kim has taken no visible steps, however, to fulfill the terms of the agreement in the 3 weeks since they met. The Site 38 North, which keeps tabs on North Korea's nuclear activities, says that no apparent steps to stop conducting research had been made. A day after returning from the trip to Singapore, Trump also bragged that he established a direct hotline to Kim. It's unclear from the president's statements whether either of the men have used it. Trump has in the past said it would be inappropriate for him to comment on his conversations with Kim. With the installation of Pompeo at state, much of the interfacing with North Korea is being run out of Foggy Bottom. Pompeo has made trips to countries in the region meet with U.S. allies invested in the issue in the days since the Singapore summit. And, the White House said Monday, he's traveling this week for a third time to Pyongyang to discuss nuclear disarmament. The former CIA chief in an interview last week with CNN said that the U.S. still does not have a timeline for denuclearization and he does not want to rush it. "Whether that's 2 months, 6 months, we are committed to moving forward in an expeditious moment to see if we can achieve what both leaders set out to do," the Secretary of State said. Trump has meanwhile turned his attention to meeting with another U.S. nemesis, Vladimir Putin of Russia. The two leaders are due to meet in 2 weeks in Helsinki, Finland, at their own summit. John Bolton, the national security advisor to the president, meanwhile said Sunday on CBS's Face the Nation that the U.S. was prepared to move very quickly to dismantle North Korea's nuclear program, if the regime plans wants to move ahead. If they have the strategic decision already made to do that and they're cooperative, we can move very quickly, Bolton said. Physically we would be able to dismantle the overwhelming bulk of their programs within a year. Sanders said Monday in response to reports of activity at North Korea's testing sites, "I'm not going to confirm or deny any of the intelligence reporting that's out there." And as far as the one-year timeline, Ambassador Bolton said if North Korea makes the decision to denuclearize, she added, their ballistics programs could be dismantled in a year. She told journalists, "There's a great momentum right now for a positive change, and we're moving together for further negotiations."